Happy October. I can't believe it's been like almost a month and a half since I've seen you guys. That was not intentional. But honestly, you didn't miss anything other than it's cold now. It is cold. It is almost noontime and it's finally warm enough to come outside, and I have a sweatshirt on. And the breeze is chilly. But it's so welcome though. The foliage is gorgeous. The garden's looking a little tired. The sunflowers are fading. The marigolds are hanging in there, but yeah, the tomatoes are pretty much done. Things just look tired. As any garden, any year, some wins, some failures. I knew there'd be a lot heavier on the failure side this year though, since these are brand new garden beds, new soil, new space. They're not like properly amended, and you know, it was reflected in the harvest. Sadly, wow, the lighting. Sorry about the horrible lighting. But we're going underneath one of the wins because, well, we're not there yet. But look at these Luffa. I have no idea if they're going to ripen in time because we've already had some frost, some light frost. But they just did not do anything through all of that heat this summer. And now suddenly that it's cooled off, they have gotten huge, which is wild because they're not getting much sun at this point. You know, the sun has sank low in the sky. We're on a north-facing slope. It's just is what it is. It's barely getting dappled sunlight, but it is going for it. So that's been fun. I've definitely never grown those before. And the carrots have been great. Tomatoes, not bad. In total, I'll probably have 2.5 gallons of tomatoes in the freezer. I have just been putting them in there one at a time as they've ripened, and I'll make a big batch of sauce once they're all done, which I would imagine would be any day because it's, like I said, we've had a couple of light frosts, and I've lost some of the butternut squash leaves from the frost. So we might be eating some more fried green tomatoes, but I've got enough to do a batch of sauce. And you guys, these poor brassicas that I winter sowed in milk jugs last winter, they languished in their milk jugs too long before we could get these garden beds built, and they struggled. And then the heat waves, obviously brassicas don't want to grow in the heat. But now that it's cooled off, they finally look so good. They've greened right up, probably also, and thanks to the clover. But they've greened right up, they look so healthy, and they're starting to put on little baby broccoli and cauliflower heads, which is incredible. They have been growing for so long at this point. I feel so bad for them. I just can't believe they're doing anything. I don't know if this broccoli is even going to taste good, but it's happening. So food production wise, it was an okay first year. It was about what I was expecting. I'm super happy about how it went. I've tried so many times to keep starting a fall garden, but slugs, holy moly, even though there's been a drought, they are still hiding. And then it rained a few days ago for the first time, and it was a massacre. I can't get anything to get past this big before a slug just comes along. And so I started a bunch of brassicas in trays, so I'm gonna try to skirt around the slugs a little bit. And for lettuces, same thing. Lettuce, spinach, they just will not let it get started. So I actually hung that in my hanging planters. Get the greens up off the ground so we can try and get something now that it's cooled off. We definitely want to have some of those leafy greens that only like growing in the cold, because I also tried to grow them all summer, and obviously, as expected, they just all immediately bolted. And also, finally, do you guys remember those old seed packets I started way earlier in the spring? One of which was some Morning Glory seeds that Bob had this morning. Well, just now, actually. It was not open this morning, but I've been keeping my eye on it. But yeah, once the sun came up, it must have just popped open. Because, whoops, if I get out of the sunlight. Finally! We have a Morning Glory flower. Finally. Oh, and of course, a Monarch chrysalis hanging below it. This one hatched out yesterday. And there's another one right there hanging on their marigold that it was laid there by a butterfly. These two were laid on pieces of wood and other things we were moving around the driveway, or I found them fallen on the ground, and I've been relocating them around the garden because they are everywhere. Watching the monarchs thrive in our yard this year has definitely been one of the absolute highlights of my summer. There has been so many. It's been so cool. There's chrysalises everywhere. I swear, almost every day. You know, I've stumbled upon a monarch that's freshly emerged and drying its wings. It's just so cool. But anyway, back to the garden and why you haven't seen me in a month and a half. The heck, Rachel? So yeah, I didn't mean to disappear into a black hole. If you've been around a while, you know the last couple of years have been a bit... I don't know. Definitely went through a different phase of life change, I guess. It's been bumpy. And not even just moving so much. Like I've kind of been used to that. I haven't lived anywhere more than a couple of years since I've been 18, with the exception of that apartment in Hampton. That was hard to leave that, but since then it's just been like, I feel like I've been bouncing everywhere, and each time I go through a chapter change or something big changes, like I have a new job, I'm moving to this new place, I keep thinking that it's like the new opportunity I'm gonna feel like sharing with you guys, because I keep waiting for like that next thing, or not waiting for it, but just like, I don't know if it's just in the back of my head, I feel like circumstances are going to be better for that, or whatever. I don't know what that's all about. But the reality I find is that I actually, as an introvert, like to kind of self-isolate a bit in those situations and share less about what's going on, even though I think I'm going to be hopeful and like so excited to share about it, right? And this particular last move was especially big for me because I moved in with a partner, and I haven't lived with a partner since 2012. So not only just moving to a new place, but moving in with someone after having my own space for so long and just having to do everything myself and figure it all out by myself. And now I don't. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Absolutely not in a bad way whatsoever. It's been so wonderful. I'm so lucky. I know I keep saying that. I said it all summer. I'm still saying it. I will always say it. I'm so lucky. This has been the absolute most beautiful year of my adulthood so far. Like, I knew turning 40 was going to be so special. I did. I felt it coming for years. I didn't know how or why or what it would look like, but man, it has been living up to the hype, you know, like 6 months into my 40th year, and can confirm this lifestyle, this garden, Bob as a partner, it's everything I've been working towards for years. I knew it was coming. I figured, and I definitely know there's been reasons why other things haven't worked out in the past, like when I was trying to buy a house hack and wanted to go down that route and whatever. There's reasons things don't work out. Kind of sucky and hard and not able to understand them in the moment, but now I'm like, ooh, thank goodness. Like, I don't want that life anymore. I want this life. And that, I don't know, desire came on pretty strongly in the last few years, even though I knew it was like in the periphery a lot longer. But yeah, the debt-free journey years were all about getting to the point where I could make that happen. And here I am. I find myself in it. And again, like, meeting Bob and moving here, like, it cut out so much of the process that I was prepared to do, you know, moving somewhere remote, which I wasn't specific or I didn't have a preference on. It was going to be very much dictated by price and what I could afford to buy a piece of land and start the process of turning it into a property. Meeting Bob obviously cut out having to do all of that huge amount of things. And obviously, if anything ever changes or happens with Bob and I, not that I'm worried about that being a possibility, but I'm just saying if that happens, like, I will still continue down that same path. I will just get back on that path and have to start doing it again and by myself, and that's okay. I know that. I'm prepared for that. You know, going through a debt-free journey and drastically changing my finances around has taught me that, like, I got me no matter what. I'm fine. But I guess I'm just trying to provide context for me understanding how I know how insanely lucky I am to be in this current situation I'm in right now. And so is Bob. Like, we both are just like, yes, I fill the gaps for him and he fills the gaps for me. Like, it just, it's funny, you know? He wanted a garden, had no time. I wanted a garden, had nowhere to do it, with all the time in the world. And it's just like, and when I say garden, it's like, I mean it all lifestyle encompassing. Like, he's been wanting to turn this land into a homestead as well. It's just, when you work full time, it's hard to find the time. I think we can all understand that. And so now it's fun. Now we get to do it together. The point of all of this is, this has been such a lovely and soul nourishing phase change for me. And like, I just feel, oh, it's been so lovely. And instead of wanting to share it, I've just been wanting to truly be in it, totally present in it, and just keep it to myself. And I think that's what I'm always forgetting about myself is, no, I am an introvert and I like to kind of self-isolate certainly during emotional extremes and life changes, but and this is a bit of both, and emotions in a happy way. Like, this is great. I was not expecting to finally meet a partner, let alone one that has all the same desires and wants for their life and their lifestyle. So it's just been so great. And I've just been quiet because I've been relishing in the greatness. I don't know, which feels really selfish to say and awful. Especially, you know, given circumstances outside of our property boundaries. Like, I know what a shit heap everything really is in, and it sucks. And something like kind of major that I think has been positive for my mental health as well is I've genuinely tuned out everything. I think it's been 6 months since I opened Instagram. I open Facebook maybe once or twice a month to check in with my family and like friends that I know from childhood. That's it. Like, I don't do social media. Can't stand it. Don't want anything to do with it. I don't even want to be on my phone. I don't want to be around my phone. I don't want to hear my phone go off. I just want to be listening to the birds. Like, that sounds so ridiculous, but that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm finding happiness. I just needed a little time to just just sit in this life that I worked for and enjoy it. Be present. Love it. Yes, and it's been so lovely. And again, you guys didn't miss anything. Financially speaking, though, I do have one update, but otherwise, like, monthly budget, you didn't miss anything. Oh, and then today's October now, so, yep, looks the same as always. My 6-month car insurance premium does come out in a couple of days, and I'll just be pulling from my annual expenses sinking fund to cover that. Otherwise, I'm just staying out of stores, staying off social media, and not feeling FOMO or feeling influenced or feeling any kind of anything. It's been so good. I bought some things for like canning supplies, and I bought some fermentation supplies. I'm going to get into fermenting. I'm very excited about that. So upfront cost, but like for long-term gain, because I want to make things that replace things we're buying at the grocery store. The one major financial update I do have is about my student loans. They finally, in September, recalculated my new monthly payment. So now I'm back on my an income-driven repayment plan. So I'm back in my 25-year payment terms. I'm back, in my month-to-month payment. However, because of my income, my monthly payment is $0 right now. So that was interesting. I mean, I knew my income was low, but I didn't think it was that low. But I'll just keep them updated as my income changes, and I'm finally back in my 25-year term plan and moving forwards. I wish I had an update for the rental property. It was under contract, and then they backed out. That sucks. That's happened twice now. So we just kind of keep slowly lowering the price, and while the economy goes to shit and no one wants to buy a house, so hopefully soon. Anyway, I've missed you guys. More regular check-ins coming. Sorry about that. So much to share with you guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you guys very soon.